Well, hello and welcome to my channel, Mary Bourne ND and Gardening with Granny. It's early June and I just wanted to step in and do a little chit chat. And then I have a video that, we are all busy and sometimes we only have 15 minutes to accomplish something. So this video that will be following the chit chat is chores, um, gardening chores that you can do. Maybe you have 15 minutes and then you got to take your shower and get to work. Or maybe you just got home, dinner's in the oven, you got 15 minutes, you can run outside, check your plants, get in touch with your garden. It's really important on a daily basis to check your garden or gardens. I can't always check all the gardens every day. Being 80, I can do spurts of things. And I want to share with you some of the tricks that I've learned that I can accomplish a couple of little things and feel like I've done something. And if you count them up, if you have 15 minutes on Monday and maybe 20 minutes on Tuesday, at the end of the week, you've got an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours of work that you've accomplished. Excuse me. The other day, my um, chives were just blown down because we had torrential rain. I know a lot of the country is dealing with this, and I wanted to make sure I uh, got my chive blossoms because last year I made chive blossom vinegar. It was wonderful. You could put it in mayonnaise and it made coleslaw. It was a base for salad dressing. It was really good. I still have a little bit of that. And this year I wanted to freeze dry the blossoms. So that's what the blossoms look like freeze dried. I popped them off, put them on trays, stuck them in the freezer until I could deal with them, and then off to work. Or for me, off to the rocker. And then also, I have garlic chives growing all along. They are like a ground cover for me. They grow underneath my juniper bush and keep the weeds away. I love them. They do, however, multiply like crazy. So the trick is to catch the blossom, pick the blossoms off, and then the blossoms have the seeds in them. And if you can get all the blossoms off, then they won't spread by seed. They still have a tendency to creep along through their bulbs. But this is my dried garlic chives. And what I use in these jars, because we live in Michigan and humidity, especially now. This morning we had very dense fog. I was out there for my 15-minute challenge and my shoes got soaking wet in the first 5. This is a dry to dry. Oh man, that smells so good. I think using dry to dry packets in my dried goods, especially if I'm going to be using them constantly, is a much better idea than vacuum sealing, which has to be done repeatedly and it takes a lot of time. So in my bone broth, when I bring a jar up, I unseal it. By the way, my bone broth is also freeze dried, so it's in powder form. And I take a dry to dry packet and stick it in there, and it keeps that powder from sticking, from, absorbing any moisture in the air. And then before I know it, I've got a puddle in my jar. And that's what would happen if I used the oxygen absorbers. So for me, using these dry to dry tablets is much better answer. So this is June, the beginning of June, and there are so many events that take our time during this time. For the most part, my garden is planted. I try to plant between Mother's Day and Memorial Day, but I'm still planting, There's things that die down and there's open spaces, and so you're always planting. If you're a gardener, you're always planting. So, you got the end of the school year and all of the activities involved in that. You've got proms and graduations. For me, there was a wedding shower. You got weddings, there's recitals and ball games and all the championship things. And there's just a ton of things happening in the beginning of June and even toward the end that you have to fit your gardening in these little time slots. So hopefully the video that you're about to see will help you and give you some ideas. What I found very helpful is as I'm doing these 15-minute chores, I have a pad of paper and I write down the next day's 15-minute chores. And so the next day I can go in and accomplish a little more, a little more, a little more, and pretty soon it's done. But it's like dishes. You get through dishes and then there's some more dishes. So the thing is enjoying the garden. So as you're doing these 15-minute chores, check out the flowers. Be in wonder over all of nature's beauty. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoy the video. This is Mary, Gardening for Granny, and see you in the next one. Well, we're out here on the back deck and just need to admire these violas. So pleasing. And I bought these strawberries because I love the pink blossoms, but they don't bear very tasty fruit. So I will be getting rid of those, but I keep them for just a little while. You can see here the fruit is mushy and small, whereas in this green stalk I planted the Seascape. I was able to get my hands on those earlier this spring, and those are some tasty strawberries. Just can't wait for those. But anyway, I have some things that need attending to. I have some spinach that has bolted and some pak choi. And as I was watching Laura on Garden Answer, I realized that I too am dealing with leaf miner. So I got to get rid of that Swiss chard and before it spreads. And maybe we'll plant some marigolds in there. There, that looks pretty. And hopefully the smell of the marigolds will deter other pests. Soon this spinach will be bolting and I'll have to replace that too. We had a salad last night, so the lettuce looks pretty much picked over, but this tomato is looking really good. Got some little flowers on it. This is a Tom Thumb, so it's appropriate for a green stalk. More lettuce coming. We tucked in some thyme, and I like to have herbs close to hand. This is right outside my kitchen. So that's it for this chore. So this is another little chore that needs to be done. And the grapevines will grow a vine, and what you want to do is you want to cut it down to where there's grapes growing. All this is just taking energy away from the grape development. So let's see if we can clip this and get this plant a little healthier. So we want to find out all the way to here. And that's just using up energy. You can see down here, we want to follow it. There's grapes right here. So we'll clip it to where there are grapes growing. There's no grapes to here. So we'll just clip it there. It doesn't take much, but if we don't do it now, they'll grow 10 feet before you know it. Oh, now that looks a whole lot neater. And the grapes can see some sunshine. Here in Michigan, we don't have to worry about them getting overheated. But this is also a good time to check, make sure there's no bug damage, where you would have to do some treatment. And if I was into Lebanese food, it might be a good time to take some of the grape leaves and wrap them, but I'm not. So it just feels good to get these little jobs done. Well, I don't have time to weed this whole garden, but what I can do is pull these tall weeds to make this garden look a little neater. Well, it isn't perfect because grass continues to grow through the hosta, but at least now my eye can focus on these beautiful purple salvia and I can enjoy them.